In 1919, the President of the United States reached a point where he could barely walk, and at times, even speaking became difficult. But the biggest question was, if the President was no longer able to perform his duties, then who was actually running the country for all those months? The story began after World War I. At the time, the American president was traveling across the country to build support for a new international organization, the League of Nations, and his vision of lasting world peace. To achieve this, he embarked on a nationwide train tour, covering thousands of kilometers across the United States. Almost every day was filled with speeches, meetings, and non-stop work. But his body had its limits. On September 25, 1919, after delivering a speech in Colorado, his health deteriorated rapidly, forcing him to cut the tour short. Just a few days later, on October 2, 1919, he suffered a severe stroke. The stroke left the left side of his body paralyzed. For a long time, he was unable even to get out of bed, making it nearly impossible for him to carry out the duties of the presidency. But this was kept almost completely hidden from the American public. The White House simply announced that the president was resting. That raised a critical question. If the president could no longer make decisions, how was the government functioning? This is where an extraordinary chapter began. The president's wife reviewed every important government document before anyone else. She decided which matters would be presented to the president and which would not. Many cabinet members and senior government officials were unable to meet the president directly. Years later, many historians even referred to Edith Wilson as America's first woman president. However, Edith Wilson always maintained that she never made decisions on the president's behalf. She insisted that her role was only to screen important matters before passing them on to him. This arrangement continued in one form or another until the end of Woodrow Wilson's presidency in March 1921. The entire episode raised a major constitutional question in the United States. If a future president became unable to perform the duties of the office, who should take over? The debate sparked by this experience continued for decades. Finally, in 1967, the 25th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified, clearly defining the rules for transferring presidential powers in cases of presidential incapacity. So this wasn't just the story of a seriously ill president. It was the story of an event that taught America an important lesson. In any nation, not only strong leaders matter, but a strong constitutional system matters just as much.